The relentless conflict between Hamas and Israel has once again thrust the world into a state of unease. As tensions escalate, the question lingers: will Hamas emerge victorious in the political arena but falter against Israel's military might? Let's delve into the intricate web of power dynamics, past conflicts, and potential outcomes that shape this terrifying war. The conflict between Hamas and Israel is one of the longest-running and most complex conflicts in the Middle East. It has been ongoing for decades, with numerous periods of violence and attempts at peace negotiations. In this section, we will delve into the history and root causes of the conflict between these two parties. Hamas is a Palestinian militant group that was founded in 1987 to liberate Palestine from Israeli occupation and establish an Islamic State. They have been designated as a terrorist organization by many countries, including Israel, the United States, and the European Union. On the other hand, Israel is a Jewish state established in 1948 after years of persecution against Jews around the world. The legitimacy of Israel's existence has been heavily debated by Palestinians who argue that it was created at their expense on land that they consider to be rightfully theirs. The conflict can be traced back to competing claims over land ownership in what is now known as Israel/Palestine. Both sides lay claim to historical ties to this region and believe they have a right to live there. This has led to disputes over territory, resources, and religious sites, such as Jerusalem's Old City. In recent years, tensions have escalated due to various events, such as violent clashes between Palestinians and Israelis in Jerusalem's holy site Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in 2017. Additionally, efforts by both sides toward peace negotiations have often failed due to issues such as borders, security concerns, settlements expansion, and Palestinian demands for statehood. One of the main factors fueling this ongoing conflict is Hamas' refusal to recognize Israel's right to exist. Their charter calls for armed resistance against Israeli occupation until all of historic Palestine is liberated. On several occasions, Hamas has used rockets and suicide bombings targeting civilians inside Israel, which are viewed as acts of terrorism by many nations. Understanding the political ideology of Hamas, or the Islamic Resistance Movement, is a Palestinian political and militant organization that was founded in 1987 during the First Intifada. Its primary goal is to establish an Islamic State in Palestine and to liberate all of historical Palestine from Israeli occupation. Hamas has been designated as a terrorist organization by several countries, including the United States, Israel, and the European Union. One of the main ideologies of Hamas is Islamism, which advocates for governance based on strict interpretations of Islamic law. This includes implementing Sharia law in society and promoting religious values in all aspects of life. Hamas also believes in Palestinian nationalism and sees itself as the legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. Hamas' political ideology can be traced back to its roots in the Muslim Brotherhood, a Sunni Islamist organization founded in Egypt. The group's founder, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, was heavily influenced by the Muslim Brotherhood's teachings and saw violence as a necessary means to achieve their goals. This belief has led to Hamas engaging in numerous violent attacks against Israel over the years, including suicide bombings and rocket attacks. Another key aspect of Hamas' political ideology is its rejection of any negotiations or peace agreements with Israel. They view these actions as concessions that go against their core beliefs and principles. Instead, they advocate for armed resistance against Israeli occupation through military operations and guerrilla warfare tactics. The political power of Hamas in Palestine. Amidst the complex political landscape of Palestine, Hamas has emerged as a significant player with a strong base of support among the population. Formed in 1987 during the First Intifada, Hamas has since evolved into a formidable political entity, challenging the authority of the Palestinian Authority led by Fatah. Hamas's rise to power can be attributed to its ability to provide social services and gain grassroots support through its charitable activities. Despite being labeled as a terrorist organization by some countries, Hamas continues to maintain influence in Gaza and parts of the West Bank. The group's uncompromising stance on Israel and its commitment to armed resistance have garnered both praise and criticism within Palestine. With its emphasis on Islamic governance and resistance against Israeli occupation, Hamas presents itself as a viable alternative to traditional Palestinian leadership. The military strength of Israel. Israel's military strength is renowned worldwide, with a well-equipped and highly trained defense force. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, boast advanced technology, including sophisticated aircraft, tanks, and missile defense systems. Their strict training regimen ensures readiness for any conflict or threat. The IDF's intelligence capabilities are also formidable, allowing them to gather crucial information to preempt potential attacks. Israel's mandatory military service for its citizens contributes to a large pool of reservists who can be mobilized quickly in times of need. Moreover, Israel has a history of successful military operations and strategic strikes that have effectively neutralized threats from hostile groups. The country's commitment to innovation and continuous improvement in its defense strategies keeps it at the forefront of military prowess in the region. In essence, Israel's military might serve as a deterrent against external aggression and reinforce its position as a dominant force in the Middle East. Previous conflicts and outcomes between Hamas and Israel. The history between Hamas and Israel is marked by a series of conflicts that have resulted in significant loss of life and destruction. Previous engagements have often escalated quickly, with both sides resorting to military force to assert their agendas. These confrontations have left deep wounds on both Palestinians and Israelis, fueling ongoing tensions in the region. Despite intermittent ceasefires and peace talks, a lasting resolution has remained elusive. Both Hamas and Israel have experienced victories and setbacks throughout their turbulent relationship. The outcomes of past conflicts have shaped the current dynamics of power between the two entities, influencing their strategies in the present conflict. Potential consequences for both sides if Hamas wins politically, but loses militarily. Hamas winning politically but losing military would have profound consequences for both sides in the ongoing conflict with Israel. If Hamas emerges as a political victor, it could strengthen its grip on power within Palestine and gain international recognition. However, if they fail to achieve military success against Israel, it may embolden Israeli forces to retaliate even more aggressively. On the other hand, if Israel prevails militarily despite potential political setbacks, it could further solidify its dominance in the region. This outcome might also lead to increased scrutiny from the international community regarding Israeli military actions and human rights violations. For Hamas, a political win without military success could result in internal unrest and challenges to their leadership. For Israel, a military victory without addressing political grievances could perpetuate cycles of violence and deepen animosity with Palestinians. The delicate balance between political victories and military losses will shape the future landscape of this conflict. The uncertain future for both Hamas and Israel. The uncertain future for both Hamas and Israel lies in the delicate balance between political victories and military strength. While Hamas may gain support on the political front, the looming shadow of Israel's superior military power casts a long uncertainty over their fate. The ongoing conflict between these two entities shows no signs of abating, leaving both sides vulnerable to further devastation and loss. As international pressures mount and calls for dialogue increase, there is a glimmer of hope for a resolution that could bring peace to this war-torn region. However, until concrete steps are taken towards de-escalation and meaningful negotiations, the cycle of violence seems destined to repeat itself. The path forward remains murky, with both Hamas and Israel facing an uncertain future filled with challenges and difficult choices. Only time will tell whether they can find a way out of this terrifying war that has gripped the hearts and minds of so many around the world. As the conflict between Hamas and Israel continues to unfold, the political dynamics of the war remain as crucial as the military developments. While Hamas may face challenges on the battlefield, The ultimate winner of this conflict will be determined by the ability to navigate the complex political landscape effectively. By considering the long-term implications of their actions and focusing on diplomatic solutions, both Hamas and Israel can pave the way for a more peaceful future in the region.